good morning, afternoon, nighttime, or no time. I'm your host, Sebastian Strange, and this is Somewhere Public Radio.
Max was traveling in time and basically fell out. Mercurial, reckless, and very, fuck it, I'll do it myself. She's gonna know that I'm not time-wise from here, walking around with a Zweihander. Max has a really elaborate pocket watch.
Which the city council is going to use to spy on you and control your time movements.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Claire Claremont, with her vacant eyes and her violent smile and her very sallow skin. What would it be like if you had someone come back from the dead and be Gwyneth Paltrow? I have a womb simulator.
Oh.
I don't like that.
Occasionally on windy nights, I still get flashbacks to my time as a vassal.
Eat the heart, Claire.
Ah.
Duncan Oliver. Investigative, friendly, a little flirty. He works at the radio station WSOM, Radio Somewhere.
This story deserves to be covered.
I agree. We should get our best reporters on it. And Duncan kind of looks around.
Sebastian looks around.
Oh.
Citizens of Somewhere, this is a emergency broadcast update. It is advised that everyone please stay off the street.
The city council, praise be, the screaming fog.
Oh, shit.
I don't even refer to them by name. I don't want to give them that kind of power.
The flayed beyond, which is generally pretty bad.
No, it sounds horrible.
Bus is sentient, Bus is alive, Bus is forever.
A leviathan of steel and tinted glass.
Run! Run!
Season 2 of Monster Hour.
Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we are merely role players, where theatrical people play role-playing games. I'm Matt Boothman, and I'm your compere for this studio production, and I'm joined in the studio by the players, starting with Vikki.
Hello, I'm Vikki. You may recently have heard me on our recent Vigil series Quarry, playing Renko the Flake. I'm very happy to be back in the studio.
Hello, I am Ellie. I've recently been playing Percy, the Exiled, in Vigil, and have been in many other seasons doing all the things.
Hello, my name is Alex. I thought I'd continue with the slightly awkward beginnings there.
Yeah,
Apologies.
I loved it.
What do you mean?
The most recent thing you've heard me in is as Mike Sherpa in... what was it called? I've had a mind blank.
Monumental Exit.
Monumental Exit.
I've enjoyed
Thank
it a
you,
lot.
Vikki.
I've enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, the absolute chaos that was that. So yes, and other things.
Hi, I'm Helen. You'll mostly know me as Melody in Vigil. I was in Quarry most recently as well. Hi.
Hello, everyone. Are you ready to get seedy and gritty and do some noir?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that probably the sensible thing to do before we actually start creating characters and creating story is just do a little bit of level setting on like the level of noir that we want to be here. Because generally these sorts of stories dive into the seedy underbelly of the city and people doing crime and like things that you could feasibly be blackmailed for being involved in and that kind of stuff. So I just want to get a sense of like where we would like to be for this story on a scale of like really horrible like sex trafficking stuff, which I guess we probably don't want to deal with, to that. Like, you know, dealing in counterfeit Funko Pops.
Yeah. Yeah, the modern version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, I don't. Obviously, it's difficult to sort of find a location on that spectrum, but basically, if we could just kind of throw out some ideas of like crimes that we would be happy to be dealing with in this story.
Well, I think theft is always fine.
Yeah, theft
just
is
generally.
Of an unusual item is quite fun as well, rather than like a super valuable one.
Yeah, and I mean like the case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a murder because it's noir.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about like the stuff that we're going to discover is going on in town. The rings that people are involved in.
Like black market stuff.
Yeah, black market stuff I think is good.
Drugs, are we happy with drugs?
Depends what kind they are, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As to whether you're happy or not.
We like drug dealing.
In terms of the story, I'm happy with a drug-based plot line. Whatever you were discussing about what you like to do in your own time there, I don't want anything to do with that.
Me and Ellie have got some edibles.
No, I'm going to stick with the Bedlin, but thanks.
So we can find like grow houses and meth labs and stuff like that.
A good basis for noir is often things like government corruption.
Yeah.
Or like privatised government corruption.
100% we're going to get some like local government and corporate
where someone's like,
here.
they're buying up the land and there's a connection or whatever.
I love all of that land nonsense.
It's like, that's what Chris was saying about there's always insurance is always involved in some way. So that works too, where someone's like ripping off the insurer. Also, a lot of noir is like sometimes driven by the connection with the femme fatale as well. So it might be like some stuff might come out from if there's going to be a character like that.
It was
from
interesting.
That exploration.
I was looking at like the sort of things that turn up in things like Chandler novels and those sorts of movies. And some of those things don't work in a modern setting or don't work as well because it's things like gambling, which is not illegal.
Yes.
But gambling is regulated, so we could have like unregulated high stakes gambling. It's the sort of thing that could be going on in back rooms. And obviously like boozing is not illegal either. But drugs certainly are.
Smuggling weird stuff.
We're in a
Fake
coastal
Funko
town.
Smuggling. What?
Fake Funko Pops.
Fake Funko.
Like fake iPhones. Knock off iPhones, that kind of thing. I was wondering about having like, this is the sort of town that might have like a dog track.
Yes.
Okay.
But I wanted to check about that because it's the sort of thing that could lead into like where we discover some cruelty to animals.
Yes,
I want
which
to
might be
see
about
whether
That just doesn't sound very fun.
No, we don't want to deal with that.
No.
Great. Okay, it's off the table.
What about strapping like a really big rocket pack to a greyhound to make it go quicker?
Have you recently watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit as well?
No. That was just, I was like, hilarious, sort of like changing of gambling rules. Like, you know, it's like doping the dog to make it sleepy and it won't run so fast.
I think it would be fine in a situation where someone had a plot to do something that was then foiled, subsequently foiled. But I feel
we don't want actual cruelty.
No, a scene where we stumble upon something really upsetting is probably not fun to play.
No, let's not bother with that.
Yeah. Okay. And stuff that generally comes under the heading of like sleaze. So like, I'm not against having like portrayals of sex work in the show, but we probably don't want to go into like sexual exploitation and stuff like that, right?
Empowered sex work, all for it.
Yeah.
I think sleaze is an important part of it. I assume if there are some baddies, they'll be sleazy.
Of course.
Yeah. That's why I feel like things like local government corruption angles are a good way to dabble in sleaze.
But Vikki, how will we relate to a world where there's a corrupt government?
That's so far removed from our current reality. I feel like that's a good opportunity to punch up.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're good for corruption. We're good for counterfeit goods. We're good for like property crime, that kind of stuff. But we want to steer clear of like overtly cruel to animals, cruel to people, anything along those kind of lines.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that will give us our kind of general level. And if anything does end up coming up in the show, use your DVD remote controls. So you can be like, pause to just stop and we'll have a conversation about it. Rewind if you want to just erase the fact that a certain thing happened and we go and take that scene again. Fast forward if you're happy for something to happen but you don't want to go into detail about it and you just want to skip to past the scene. So all those sorts of intuitive like stop, play, pause.
I think a lot of that like more grimy stuff I'm absolutely fine with including, but don't want a scene where we're looking at it because it feels unnecessary.
Great.
So I think the fast forward button is useful in those.
And I think also like noir can be a very like, it has the ability to be quite a camp genre, so I think there is opportunity also to just make things a goofy version of whatever it is, like, and that will totally like, it can still have the stakes whilst also then being quite hilarious.
Yeah,
like patty cake in Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, like we want to lean into like the overly self-serious side of noir, but
and then it'd be about something goofy.
We want to be a bit silly about it as well.
Yeah, I think that will work really well.
All right, cool. Okay, I think that gives me a good sense of where we're sitting. So let's create some characters who are going to live in this world. We're doing a reduced version of character creation for Fate because we're going to add a lot of these details as we go in play. So in the same way as an audience watching a movie discovers as you go along like what these characters are capable of, like you don't know whether a character's any good in a fight until they get in one, we're going to do the same. Even for the characters that we're playing, we'll discover them as we go. But what we are going to come up with up front are your high concept, which is a short phrase that just describes your character. It's kind of the elevator pitch for your character. We're going to come up with what is your best skill, what are you great at, and that's pretty much it for starting off. And we'll find everything else, other aspects or details, what scores you have in other skills, whether you have any stunts, which are a lot like the sort of signature moves that we used to use in the Blackshore Saga. We'll discover all those as we go.
Okay.
So the way I want to create these high concepts is we're going to take each a noir archetype and then add a detail to it that makes it more like your own. So it doesn't have to be something that makes it completely unique and takes it out of the genre. It can just be like, are you a destitute, hard-up private eye, or are you a tenacious, truth-seeking private eye, etc.? So let's do archetypes first. We probably want a private eye, a femme fatale, like maybe like a heavy or a patsy who's kind of in over their head. Kid trying to make good and get out of town is a classic one.
I would like to be a crime scene / news photographer.
Great, love it. Like a news hound.
Yeah.
Could I be a corrupt amusement park or arcade owner?
Absolutely, sure. Yeah, like business owner is like a standard kind of character to have here. Yeah.
I just wanted to own a venue that has those little penny slot machines, but be a criminal.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So if I can do that, it'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I was going to take the private eye.
Someone's gotta, and I mean, I feel like we're doing noir largely because conversations that you and I have had.
This is accurate.
So this makes sense
This
for
is
you
just fulfilling
to come in here with main character energy.
A long time dream of mine.
I wanted something where Vikki and Ellie were going to be characters in a noir that could investigate together in some way.
Yeah.
So this has worked very nicely for me.
Yeah.
Great.
You have the opportunity to do that.
Helen also living the dream.
Yes, everyone's dreams are being
I'm happy to be
realised.
living Helen's dream.
Yes. And, you know, Alex living his real life dream of owning a penny slot arcade.
Yeah.
Cool. Private eye, corrupt businessman, news hound.
Femme fatale.
Yes. Gotta have one. Okay, we have archetypes. Now let's put some twists on them. Or, like, additional detail that makes them yours. Why is this Vikki's private eye rather than any generic private eye?
Okay. So, how much detail do you want me to go into? Just
as much as you like.
Okay, cool.
She's written an essay.
We're going to boil it down to a simple phrase, but give us the full detail and we'll work it out from there.
I'd say the simple phrase is crime scene and news photographer that moonlights as a photographer for a PI and the WI.
Oh,
So
amazing.
you're doing the calendar.
I do the calendar.
Bodies, cakes.
I do all the cakes, the competitions.
You take photographs of when they've installed the crochet on top of the post box.
Yes,
perfect.
I do those on the social media.
I think it's really important work.
Yeah, it is.
And I also do the close-up photos of their crafts that they sell on Etsy.
Ooh.
So
And the new calendar every year.
The new calendar every year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bang in.
So I would say like doing the stuff that you moonlight is like that's good extra backstory detail of like what you do, but what we want to get for your high concept is a phrase that kind of sums up like what kind of news hound are you? So if we want to build in those details, it could be something like newshound and pillar of the community or something like that, because it
Okay.
sounds like you're sort of involved in these kind
I
of
was thinking
community
like you're
orgs.
too pure for this work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really.
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, naive or
I am an old woman.
Yeah.
great.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh,
yeah,
that's-
because
that's-
usually it's a youngster, right? Like usually it's a youngster chasing their Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
instead
No,
it's-
I've come to photography late in life.
yeah.
Great.
Are
I
we
love
looking
that. Oh,
more
that's
Miss
good.
Marple than like anything else?
Yeah, but probably less sharp-minded.
I love it. I love it so much.
So-
I love that you're a news photographer, but because photography is like a hobby you've discovered in retirement, rather than because
Yeah.
that's the job.
I would like if your previous career had been stunt driving.
Well, that's. I mean, I've put down dinner lady.
That's
You
fine.
don't get paid much as a dinner lady, so maybe the stunt driving tided you over.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I thought that coming to photography later in life, although was on the other side of the camera a lot as a youngster, so did a bit of modelling, a little
Nice.
bit of risque modelling.
Yes.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
Nice. That sounds like some potential trouble.
That's the danger I was looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah. There we
Then
go.
went straight into dinner ladying.
It's
But
only a couple of hours a day, so you've got time for other stuff.
yeah. So maybe stunt driving was in there as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're kind of somebody who sort of sees the best in people,
Yeah.
I mean, a negative way of saying that, we could say gullible
Yeah.
or sort of naive.
Feels like I'm not going to be
or-
very good assist for PI.
I'm
I'm
kinda-
kind of visualising like in the incredible movie Spy, the
Yeah,
character
yeah.
that Miranda Hart plays,
Yes.
where she's absolutely
Yeah.
critical, but kind of is just like blasting through
Yeah.
in the like
Yeah.
purest way possible.
We could just say cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
Too good for this world, too pure.
Too pure.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Newshound cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
I love the idea of you turning up to crime scenes and like offering someone a baked good or something.
Yeah,
beautiful.
You know.
And that is a good example of a detail or an aspect that you can leverage to your advantage, because you can be like, oh, because I'm a newshound and or because I'm a cinnamon roll, like people will open up to me, or people trust me, I can get into places, but I can then leverage them against you by saying like, oh, you probably won't notice that this bad thing is happening or that you're being duped because
Yeah.
you are a bit of a cinnamon roll.
Yeah. I did wonder if one of my best skill might be burglary, because all
Yeah.
women are invisible.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see them.
No.
Have you ever seen one?
No,
Nope. Never seen one.
never, never.
Women
Ever.
don't age.
Yeah.
Certainly not in the public eye. It's not allowed.
It's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mum.
Or any mums.
So all those details are true, but all we'll write down in your high concept slot on your character sheet is cinnamon roll newshound,
Okay.
and that will be the sums it up in a nutshell. Like, who is this character? Anyone else got a twist on their archetype?
I think
Ready
I
to
have
go?
one.
Chambered.
So I built it into the I had an idea of like a moonlighting thing, because we talked about it in our WhatsApp group about that picture of the tooting bingo hall, and I said I think I should moonlight as a bingo caller.
Right.
So I want to have that in there, but for the high concept, I was thinking that I'd be a baby-faced PI.
Nice.
So either looks very young or just actually is very young. So
Yeah.
like maybe even like I was like Veronica Mars. I just watched Enola Holmes 2, so it's just lodged in there.
Sure.
Great.
Right, this idea of like a youngster trying to like make it in this gritty
Oh
world.
my god, both of these investigators
Yeah.
are so like corruptible and
Yes.
pure.
Yeah. That's what I think that could work quite well. So I was thinking, like
Yeah, babyface PI
Yeah.
is a perfect
Yeah,
high
so,
concept.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Let's
write
go.
it down.
Let's go with it.
Is that going to be a problem though, having to, or
It might be a problem for you too.
We'll find out.
Might cause
Okay.
problems. It's not going to stop you being able to play the game.
No.
no?
This might mean your characters get into trouble.
But maybe I should be a sharp old lady rather than a cinnamon
No,
roll.
stop trying to win.
Oh.
Stop trying to get- I see you.
It feels weird you saying that.
You know I'm only here for the story.
See, I had only got as far as he owns the arcade
Yeah.
and he's a criminal.
You
So
you
he
got me.
knows everyone in the local area. Everyone knows him. That's not such a good thing for
Yeah.
anyone. Really.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, well known.
Well, like you've very well known.
Could it be that like he has like a hobby that he is like very focused on?
Yeah.
Maybe
Like an exploitable weakness.
odd you should say that he's got like a hobby that he's sort of like trying to keep secret. I quite like the idea, like it came to me just before you said that was he's always seen himself as like a Fred Astaire type. So he sees himself as an incredibly proficient dancer, but no one really knows that, and he's never actually done any sort of.
So we have the scope for a musical number, is what we're saying.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Can he dance?
Can we find out?
Yeah, you can decide. Of course.
Yeah, we'll find out which skill you're good at.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's find out if athletics or physique is high,
That's
and then
cool.
we'll go from there.
So we could let's kind of pick one thing for the high concept. Other details can always end up as being other aspects if they become useful. So we could either go with like secretly footloose businessman, or how do you like the sound of like infamous corrupt businessman?
Yeah, I like infamous corrupt businessman.
Nice. Okay. And again, it means you've got a rep. And that can work to your advantage because you could probably intimidate people like that. You could probably get in places, but also I can use it against you because it means that like it's harder for you to go incognito. The fuzz are going to be watching your business, that kind of thing. And we can bring in the secretly footloose stuff as a different aspect at some point if it becomes relevant. Which leaves you, Helen.
I have had some thoughts about what the twist on the Fatale should be, but Strat didn't like most of them.
He's not
Is
here.
Strat here?
He's not
Right.
here, exactly. But he was like, I don't see how that's going to make any progress in the game. And I was like, it's never worried me before.
He hadn't had the briefing.
And also, this is classic Stratton going, I want to win.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
no.
Stop trying to win the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just stuck with weird things like vegan femme fatale.
I like that though, but I think this is the good angle of being like, well, what does that mean about her as a person?
Exactly.
You could be a psychic. That'll really piss Strat off.
Oh,
I was also going to go alternative medicine, so
Okay.
You could you could just do like the local like tarot readings.
It's
and...
funny because I was thinking along these last night because I went to see Sophie Duker and she was talking about whether she was born in Year of the Horse and that she's an Aquarius and all this sort of stuff, and it's a great through line in the show. She's a fantastic comic, and I was thinking, can I fuck about with this?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you really
Yes,
can. And
you
put you in a
absolutely
position
can.
of like being confided in
Yeah.
and being able to influence people because you can give readings that might push them in certain directions.
So am I like a peer palm reader?
Oh yeah, because it's
Or-
crystal.
Yeah.
Like
You could have a little booth at the
100%.
fun fair or
We
whatever.
could, for the high concept, we could characterise it as like new agey femme fatale
Yes.
or
Yeah.
Aquarian femme fatale.
Mystic.
Yeah, mystic
Wiccan.
femme fatale would
Yeah.
be fun.
I'd only got as far as sort of woo-woo.
Yeah, woo
Yeah.
woo was the phrase I had in my head. So yeah, I feel like yes.
Woo woo.
Yeah.
Is that a cocktail?
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what does it?
That's more like woo woo. Whereas this is more like
Whereas it-
bit
Woo.
Oh, I see. Okay, right. I was just
Yeah.
like, what? Is
Yeah.
this like a childish train noise? I don't know what's going on here.
No, that's
So yeah,
different woo.
any of those terms work. So pick your fave.
I'm going to
and
go
write it
with
down.
I'm going to go with woo-woo, right?
Great.
Yeah, this really
Just-
encapsulates all of those things.
So then I can decide.
It's a really nice twist on the femme fatale because you
Yes.
expect them to be so like poised and together, and this is now a very floaty.
Yeah,
Yes.
and also very like rooted in realism a lot
Yeah.
of the time.
Yes.
They're very pragmatic femme fatales, but maybe not this one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
High concept. Done.
done.
Next thing to do, your best skill. So you're going to end up over the course of the game with a skill that you are great at, a couple that you are good at, some that you are fair at, and the rest are you're going to be mediocre at. But for this process, all we need to know is what are you great at? And you have a list of skills on the character sheet. If anybody knows immediately what they want, go for it. Alex?
Deceive.
Great. Put a +4 in deceive.
I was not sure, but the one that I've been thinking about the most is provoke.
Cool.
Because I think it would be fun if she was really irritating, and that was the main way that she gets stuff done.
I love how just these few little details tell us
Yes.
about this like
Yeah.
baby-faced PI
Yeah.
who is really irritating and good at provoking
Yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah.
Like
Are
we've
you-
got a picture.
All the boys that I went to school with.
Maybe.
Yeah, shout out
maybe.
TBSHS.
Yeah.
I hate you all.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
sound very
maybe.
precocious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing of being like hound, like everyone's so like, how dare you be in this space trying to do this thing?
And it tells us a little bit about your PI style as well, like, because it is an important PI skill to be able to shake the tree.
Yes, exactly.
And just like, I have a vague lead, but I don't have any specifics. I just need to go to a place and make a stink and see what people,
That's my plan.
how people react.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with that.
Give yourself a 4 and provoke.
Done.
I think I want to talk through some options.
Cool.
Because, I mentioned burglary, just because aldermen are invisible, but then also that would work for stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you might be able to use in more context. I guess.
Yeah. Stealth would be good if you're, like, as well as crime scene and WI calendars, if you do a little bit of PAP photography as well.
Hiding in bushes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could see stealth.
Yeah, and then there's also, crafts. Is that like knitting and crochet? 'Cause I feel like she would be good at that.
I can look up for you the
kinds of things you can use. When crafts was on there, I was like, what?
I'm very good at decoupage.
I looked at every single other one and I was like, wait, is crafts like what?
Yeah.
Is it like MacGyver stuff?
Maybe.
It's like,
Yeah.
make
That's what I
something
was
out of
thinking,
nothing.
yeah. I was thinking that it would be that, but I like the idea that she's just a speed knitter.
Yeah.
So the description in the book for crafts is the ability to make or break machinery, build contraptions, pull off MacGyver-esque feats of ingenuity.
Sure.
Called it.
So that could work as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm not really sort of drawn to any of them more strongly.
Okay. Right. Well, while we're stewing on that, Helen, where are you leaning, if anywhere?
So when I was looking at it in advance, rapport was the most obvious one.
Uh-huh.
But then that made me wonder if that's just dull. Really,
That's why I
one.
avoided investigate, because I was like, that would be it feels obvious.
It is sort
but that
of
would
obvious,
have been okay.
but again, if you think that you're going to be doing it a lot and you'd be frustrated by failing at it, like if you'd feel like a bad femme fatale if you rolled rapport and did badly, then... But then as a woo-woo femme fatale, I feel like maybe you wouldn't be the greatest at it. I don't know.
So once we got into the woo-woo side of it, I was thinking that I looked at provoke as well, and I had talked about deceive in advance. So, but I think potentially rapport is a sensible one.
What does notice involve? Is that about being observant?
Yeah, being able to pick up details in the moment, spot trouble before it happens, and generally be perceptive.
Yeah, I wonder if that just could be an option for you if a thing that you do is like palmistry and
in
stuff.
contrast with investigate, which is more like slow, deliberate observation.
Finding stuff. This is more like more intuitive.
Like, notice would make sense for somebody who does like cold reading.
Yeah. That you would be good at
people.
that. You don't have to go for that one. It's just I thought
Empathy was another one that I thought of.
Yeah.
Also good for the same reason, yeah.
It's just kind of a bit melody.
It's quite it's quite passive as well.
I would quite like to
be a bit more go-getting.
Yeah, or just someone that's a bit less worried about people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay too. I mean, you could just go for something really off the wall here as well.
Fight.
You could just be fight.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with rapport, I think.
Beautiful. Ellie, does that... or has anybody had thoughts for Ellie?
I really liked what you were saying about burglary. And if your instinct was that the character was fitting with the character, then you can just take them in to burgle stuff in that direction.
Yeah.
What's the thing that it, like, how does it actually play out?
It describes it as knowledge of and ability to bypass security systems, pickpockets, and generally commit crimes.
Which doesn't really match with the cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
I think
it's
stealth
an interesting contrast, though.
I think maybe stealth is a little bit more open-ended as well.
Yeah.
I assume that just means I can be stealthy whenever I want.
Yeah,
allow you to do things that are,
staying unseen or unheard, escaping when you need to hide.
Yeah, because can that stretch to like me nicking stuff if I'm being like
absolutely
because being stealthy
if you're nicking stuff by being stealthy, then yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I think it's a bit of a cheat because it means I can cover off nicking things as well.
I mean, there's that. This game is quite a lot about like stretching details to cover circumstances, and like there is a bit of a like the acid test is like if people are at the table are a bit like then you're probably stretching it too far. So it's, we kind of there's a kind of a built-in
I'll look out for that noise
system.
There's a lot of creaky doors. You've pushed it.
Cool. So we know what our characters are great at. We know their high concept. Most difficult thing, names. I know that we're going to be fine about names because we have Ellie Pitkin at the table.
I already thought of one as well.
I've got a first name and some surname options.
Brilliant. Okay, who wants to chuck out some names for us?
Would you like to start?
I'm pleased with mine.
Yeah, go for it.
So the full name is Camilla Parnell.
Amazing.
And I say, call me Cam.
Nice.
As in, camera.
Oh!
I love the idea that Camilla's really seen this as a part of her destiny, to become a photographer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, perfect.
And I think she says that genuinely to people when she introduces herself, if she's come to take photos of things. And thinks it's hilarious every time.
And it would be obnoxious if it was someone else.
Yeah.
But Camilla's a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, oh,
It's mildly embarrassing.
it's just sweet.
Vikki, you said you had one?
Yeah, Cadence Fairchild.
Ooh, there's a PI.
That's very good.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm not good at coming up with names apart from PI names. They're the only names I'm good at coming up
Such
with.
a specific niche.
It's such a specific skill.
Cool. Helen, you said you had first name.
So I'm going with Stella, and I was
Great.
trying to work out the tone that we were like. If we were being very serious, I'd have gone with like Smith or Jones or something like just keep that some mystery.
Yes.
But if we were going silly, I was thinking Bartois.
Well, then you've got to go with that. Then, haven't you?
Yeah, so that could be your trading name. It might not be your original name, but
That
maybe...
would be a real femme fatale move, actually, for that not to be your real name. Yeah.
Do you think it's a drag name?
It does sound a bit like a drag name.
Yeah,
but in a
it is,
good way.
yeah. I don't think that rules it out, though.
No.
So I think I will go for my backup, which is Sylvester.
Ooh, Stella
yeah, I love it.
Sylvester.
Gotta love a bit of alliteration.
Yeah, especially like on the, booth or whatever.
Exactly.
Over the
Miss
very
Sylvester.
nice. Yeah.
Ms. Sylvester, Mrs. Sylvester, who knows?
Yeah.
Madame Sylvester.
Oh, even better.
Hello. Yes, I love it.
I've got a last name, which is Skinner.
Great.
Oh,
That's
yes.
the important bit for a corrupt businessman.
And
right?
he shortens it to say that his nickname is Skinsy.
Horrid.
I know.
It's all sort of the same.
I feel it would take me longer to say.
Yeah.
So this is the first name that I'm struggling with.
Maybe you don't need one.
Yeah, maybe we
I
can.
feel like it...
Reginald.
Oh, I was
Reg.
going to like Gary.
Yeah.
Malcolm. Reg is quite good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, Reginald,
Skinsy Skinner.
Skinsy.
Horrible.
Yeah, I hate that.
Well, with that, we have 4 characters. They are named, they have high concepts, and we know one thing that they are all great at. Everything else we're going to discover as we go. So, we are ready to play!
Yay!
Woo, woo.
This has been Falling Cadence, a studio production from Merely Roleplayers, starring Vikki as Cadence Fairchild, Ellie Pitkin as Camilla Parnell, Alexander Pankhurst as Reginald Skinner, and Helen Stratton as Stella Sylvester. The theme music is by Alexander Pankhurst, and the episode was edited and produced by Matt Boothman. We were playing Fate, using the condensed rule set published by Evil Hat Productions. Merely Roleplayers is a Foggy Outline production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Until next time, if drama be the food of life, play on. I mean, I was putting on the table when we were doing the conversations before this, we can have femme fatale, we can have homme fatale, we can have them fatale.
Yes.
They're all on the table. But,
I love that. Femme fatale.
I love it. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the only
it's
reason
good.
I brought it up.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm really pleased with
I
it.
admire your honesty, Matt.
Because I wanted to crowbar this in, and I have, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, it's not only like femme presenting women that can be duplicitous.
Exactly.